Okay, everybody, we are going to start sketchbook orientation. All right, so everybody is going to get a sketchbook. All right, I've ordered brand new sketchbooks for everyone. They are different than any sketchbook I've used in the past, only because they are a little bit smaller. I think they're a little bit more portable. I like the size a lot. This is a great size sketchbook. So let's go through what we are going to do today and tomorrow. So for your sketchbooks, let me move myself out of the way. I'll put myself here. All right, so sketchbook orientation for cover design. So what you need to do on your cover is you want to make it something that you like. All right, you want to make it something that you want to look at. All right, you need to have a couple things on this. All right, you got to have your name. Super important. We need to know whose sketchbook this is. It doesn't have to have your last name. As long as it has your first name, that's all right. So first name, that's a big one. Next thing, it needs to have your class period on there. All right. Next is it needs to have some kind of color on it. The covers are white. All right. Don't leave it like that. Let's try to fill our background with some color. Don't just leave it white. So let's make it colorful. Let's have it have some value in it, which means shading. And let's try to fill that entire cover. All right. The next thing, if you'd like to use, if you'd like to collage onto it or print photos and put that onto that, that's okay too. In the very back of the room, like under the windows, where the tables are, where the windows are in the back, there's bins that have magazines in there. If you want to go through the magazines and find some stuff to collage onto there, that's okay too. You can grab a glue stick and some scissors, you cut out pictures, and you can collage that stuff onto your sketchbook cover. All right, next slide. So these are a few examples. I'm going to go through like what makes a good cover, what makes a not so great cover. So let's look. So right here we have our, let's talk about the one on the left here. So we have first and last name, we have the second period, and it's filled up. It's pretty good, right? I would say so. The next one, we have first and last name, and it just says what the class is, which is fine. But what's it missing? It's missing the class period. So make sure that we are not missing the class period. And then this next one's really cool. I love that it has what's important to this person on there. So it has their name, it has like what's important to them, awesome color choices. But again, we are missing some information on here when it comes to class period. So make sure that you have your class period written on there. All right, these are cool. These are great examples. So we have first and last name. Again, if you want to just do your first name, I'm okay with that. Period one. A quote, and then they looked like that they did some kind of gradiated background, and you can do all this with colored pencil. Next thing, this one they did collage. This is book pages. I have some books in the back that are old donated books. Don't take a book from the library and rip pages out of that book, okay? It is super satisfying to rip a page out of a book. Do not use a library book. I have books in the back that you can do that with if you'd like to do that. But then they went in with, it looks just like marker and colored pencil, and went on top of that and pen and drew on those pages to make it look really cool. And then this one on the right here, they got their name, Paul, and then a quote, but again, no class period. So make sure we add that class period in there. All right, here's some more great examples. We have our name, we have our class period, and we have a fully colored background. We have our name, we have our class period, probably last name and class period, and we have a fully colored background. I have a few items that I'm going to put on the table that's under the whiteboard that has the green border on it, and it's like these little dots. They're called do-a-dot markers. I'll call them dotters all the time. They're like those little bingo dotters. And if you want to use those bingo dotters, you can use them anytime. And those look really great. It's a great way to fill in space, and they look really good. So they filled in space with the bingo dotters, and then they use Sharpie and marker to fill in those in. This person, they did, this looks like drew this on an extra piece of paper. They wrote their name, they cut it out, and they glued it onto a background that they painted on. I'm going to be gone for this. That's why I'm making a video. So we're not going to get any watercolor paints out. If you want to do watercolor, you just need to wait until I get back. And then with this one, they did, it looks like a painted background with some Sharpie at the bottom, and then they did their name with their class period. Looks good. A few more. Great example here. You got our name, you got our class period. They left some white space, but I think that it's okay because it's like tastefully done. You know, name, no class period, but super cool cover. Name, class period. I guess that's how you abbreviate period, PR. These are great. Simple. Name, art, 9th period, last name. It reminds me of one of those really fancy, I can't think of their name, but it's like one of those planners that you can get that are like expensive but nice. It's cool, like a whole bunch of characters. Name, art, 2018, but missing class period. Make sure we get that. Okay, I'm gonna keep kind of rolling through. All right, so a few things about sketchbooks, important things for your sketchbook. Rule 1, do not tear any pages out of your sketchbook. That is a big no-no. Don't do it. If you make a mistake, there's going to be plenty of times where we can just take another piece of paper and glue it on top. I'm going to have a whole bunch of handouts that I give you throughout the semester that you can just glue in over that mistake. No need to tear anything out. There's going to be times where I ask you to tear something out because we're going to use that page for our project or something like that. But don't tear something out just because you don't like it. We can use it later, or we can go over it, or we'll do something on top of it later. Okay, don't tear the page out. A little bit of me dies every time a page is torn out of a sketchbook. Next, lost sketchbooks. Do your best to keep track of your sketchbook. I am going to show you what happens if you lose your sketchbook. All right, so make sure that we are keeping track of where those things are. And then the last thing is making sure that that cover is fully done and has your name on it and everything is clearly written on it in case it does get lost, so that way it can be returned. Okay, next thing. All right, so I don't know how many of you guys have done a Wreck This journal, but it is pretty cool if you've ever had one. I have one right here. It's partially been done. People love to like grab it off my bookshelf every so often and do something on a page, or like you can see there's just like random stuff done in this book, which is cool. That's exactly what it's for. And it's supposed to get all destroyed and messed up, and the name is called Wreck This Journal for a reason. And there's stuff drawn on the cover, which is great. So these are like the finished Wreck This journals. They're basically these giant workbooks that have different prompts done on them. But one of the very beginning pages is a kind of like an information sheet, and it looks like this. It says like, this book belongs to this person. You write your name in a whole bunch of different ways. And the best part about it is it says like, note, if found, flip to a page randomly, draw something, and then return. So I had my last few classes write that entire page out. I don't think it's necessary. So what we're going to do is you're going to open up your sketchbook, and you can do this in one of two spaces. You can do it on the first page, or if you want to do it on the inside of the cover, you can do it on the inside of the cover too. So it's going to look like this. You just want to write your name. This time you need to do your first and last name. Okay, so do first and last. Write your class period. That's super important. And then this is a must. You have to write this part. If found, flip to a random page, draw something, and return to the art room. Once they return it to the art room, it will be given back to me, and I will put it back in your supply box. Okay. Funny story. Last semester, I had Mr. Lyles, our assistant principal, bring a sketchbook back to the art room. and he goes, I found a sketchbook in the hall. I saw whose name it was. I opened it up and I saw that it said to go to a page and draw something. So I did that, and here it is. And he brought it back to the art room and he followed all the instructions exactly like you're supposed to do. And so, if anything, this is a testament to know that this exact thing works. Also know that if you leave your sketchbook out in the art room, it does become fair game for other people to draw in, and I will I allow it, and then I put it back in your box after a certain amount of time. Okay, that is everything for this class. If you have any questions about that, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I just need you to work on your cover. Recommendations: start in pencil, work lightly. Don't go too dark right away. If you start working on things too dark, it will be difficult to erase. So work in pencil first, draw lightly. If you would like to do a plan for what you want to do on your cover, that would almost be even better. The sketchbook is yours. These pages are yours. All right. So what you choose to do in that is up to you. So you can go to a page in your sketchbook, and if you would like to start planning out what you want to do on that sketchbook, you may. I love having a good plan before I start doing something on the actual project. So I would draw out a rectangle, portrait orientation rectangle. So this is portrait, right? Landscape, portrait. Up and down is portrait, side to side landscape. I would do a portrait orientation rectangle, and then I would start writing. I would do Bruins, period, whatever, and then start designing whatever I want to design on that thing. Okay, come up with a few ideas. I often think that your first idea is not always your best idea. If you come up with a couple different ideas, I think that you can always combine your first idea with another idea to make something even cooler. Just my 2 cents. But come up with a plan, start adding with pencil, and then you can do Sharpie outlines, and then I would start adding color. Okay, these are going to be due on Monday. Okay, so we're going to be having these will be due Monday. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to ask my art aides or my sub. If you send me a message on email or Canvas, I'll do my best to respond to you as fast as I can. All right, see ya.